Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Torah for Women's Mountain Moments. These are the prepper portions, and I'm Judith Garten. This morning we are going to start. I have a few recipes I want to whip up today and do little videos for you. The first one today is going to be a quick and easy creamy soup mix. This is for when you go to the grocery store right now and all the canned cream of chicken soup is gone from the shelf and you need it for a casserole. If you have this in your refrigerator, you're ready to roll and good to go. Now, I will say that right now I have not been able to grab powdered milk yet in our area, and I didn't order it online. So we are going to do this today without adding the powdered milk. Normally this does have powdered milk. You can still utilize the recipe I'm going to whip together by using milk that you have in the refrigerator to make your creamy soup mix. So let's get started. If you remember before, I mentioned that some of my favorite cookbooks are Make a Mix Cookery. This cookbook is by Karina Eliason, Nevada Harvard, and Madeline, oh dear, I think it's Westover. The information for this cookbook will be in the comments below. On the video, I will share that. You can find the Make a Mix Cookery cookbooks used. My favorite ones are the Make a Mix Cookery and the More Make a Mix Cookery. These are available used at various bookstores online like abebooks.com. Sometimes you can find them used on Amazon. They're not terribly expensive. I wouldn't pay more than $10 per copy on these. Originally they were not much, they were around that price as well. They're excellent. They have pantry recipes, freezer recipes, so that you can do things in bulk and you can have items in your freezer ready to go. They just need a couple of additional ingredients. We'll be doing more and more from the Make a Mix Cookery books as we go along. I prefer the two older copies. The two older copies have more recipes in them than what I've seen in the newer ones. So we will be working from the first volume, which is Make a Mix Cookery today. On page 19 in that book, there is a recipe for what is called white sauce. Now the white sauce uses very simply 2 cups of non-fat dry milk, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, and I will say, I used to only use hand ground whole wheat flour in all of my recipes. I don't currently have an electric grinder, so we are not doing that as of right now, but we will be using more and more whole wheat as we go through and we have access to that product. This is so simple. The original recipe, as I said, calls for 1 cup of all-purpose flour. You can use 1 cup of whole wheat flour if you don't prefer quite so much of the grain and the fiber in the soup mix, which you will learn as you make your first batch. You want to make sure that you sift out the wheat bran. If you sift out the wheat bran wheat germ, you can store that in the freezer, actually in bags or in containers, and you can add that to recipes where you want more fiber, so you can save that. Don't waste. Now's not the time to waste. This recipe would also require 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 cup of butter or margarine. Now for this recipe, I really do enjoy using olive oil, so we will cut back because olive oil is liquid. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to list the ingredients I'm going to add. I basically follow this recipe as a foundation recipe. So that is what we will be doing. In this bowl, I would normally have 4 cups of instant non-fat dry milk. They would be in here along with this. This is 2 cups of all-purpose whole wheat flour, but it is manufactured whole wheat flour. It is sifted and it is lightly bleached. Not my favorite, but it is what we were able to find in the market right now because of the quarantining and whatnot. Now, I also have been struggling with finding my absolute favorite chicken flavored or chicken soup base or bouillon. Normally my favorite would not have things in it such as dextrose or maltodextrin. This one does. But it is the best one and the least offensive to what we use. For those of you who know me really well, you know I'm very picky what comes into our kitchen. very, very picky. We do not eat MSG. We do not eat artificial ingredients. We do not eat a lot of the natural ingredients that people will consume. We don't even eat, because natural does not mean it complies with our biblical diet. So going forward, for now, this is the best one I've been able to find on the market here. As we are able to go forward and order more products online here, we will be choosing different. And I will, as we go through and make more and more of these soup bases, you will see me use a different product. For right now, I am using Mrs. Miller's. And I am going to open this. I haven't even opened it as yet. There you go. There's the proof. It was tightly sealed. So I have my 2 cups of flour in here. And as I said, if I had found the powdered milk, it would be 4 cups of powdered milk. So what I'm going to add is 1 tablespoon per cup of flour of bouillon mix. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons. That will give you a nice flavor. Now, if you like a deeper flavor, a richer flavor, as you learn to use this soup mix, you will be able to add more as you make your soup mixes. Make a note on your recipes as you print them out or make cards from them. I use a wire whisk. It distributes very evenly, all of the bouillon. Now I will say, and I'm going to say this again at the end, this is not a shelf-stable pantry recipe, because you will be using butter or oil in it along with your chicken bouillon. This will need to be kept in your refrigerator. There we go. The chicken bouillon is distributed evenly. I'm going to use about 1/3 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. And I will then mix that through as well. Trying to set things out of the way so you can see. If you have a pastry blender, which I do not, I always just have used my wire whisks. This is a good time to also use your pastry blender. If you're a hands-on kind of an individual, you can also use your fingers to mix this through. You want to mix the oil through, or butter, until it is well mixed. This would be much more evenly distributed had I been able to find my powdered milk. And my favorite actually would be to use powdered goat milk. And I plan to get that at some point in time in the near future as well. They do sometimes sell it at our local Kroger's, and I'm excited about that. It was not in stock this last time. Now I can already tell that this is not going to be my favorite soup mix. You're going to laugh. And I can tell you why. I can smell the thyme is very strong in this soup mix. It is so strong. It is a very timely soup mix. Now what you will do if you're going to use this soup mix to make a creamy soup mix, you will take chicken broth and put it in your pot. And I will include the recipes for a creamy soup mix on TorahForWomen.com. The link will be in the comments below and the description below on the YouTube video. Okay, this is almost evenly distributed. I will include all the measurements and the recipes for the soup mix to be as well for the soup mix, as well as how to use it to make a creamy soup. What you will do is you will take chicken broth or water and bring it to a boil in your pot, using the proper measurements as to the amount of soup you will need to end up with. Then you will take the proper measurement of your soup mix and add it in. If you have already used powdered milk in the soup mix, You won't need to add milk to your creamy soup. Later today, I will be making a creamy tomato soup to go with our grilled cheese sandwiches. And when I do that, the wonderful thing is I'm going to use this soup base to make the creaminess in the creamy tomato soup. And I will add just a little bit of milk so that we get that cream without the curdle. There you go. That is almost, normally it mixes through without any pea-sized. This is about pea-sized. What I will do next is I have a jar that I use, and I will store the product in here. So easy. In a jar in the refrigerator. Then as needed, you can just scoop out what you want. This is nice. I save pickle jars, pickled pepper jars and whatnot for things such as this because they store nicely in the refrigerator. Have a wide opening so that you can scoop out easily. There you go. And you can store a large quantity. Now this particular recipe will be good for about 3 months in your refrigerator. And normally I would have this jar almost completely full with mix. Now when I get the powdered milk, I can easily just add it in the jar to this soup mix. And there you go. It's as easy as that. One thing you're going to want to do is put a label on the jar, of course, so you know what's in here. But use a recipe card or a note card, and you can cover it easily with packaging tape on the jar. Put on here what is in here. I will label this with creamy chicken soup mix, and then I will have the recipe measurements for 2 or 3 different sizes listed on the card. I will do that later, tape it on, and I will take a photo and include it in the video so you'll see what I'm talking about, because that way you'll know exactly how you can do it for, let's just say you want a cup of creamy chicken soup just to take the edge off of a cold, chilly, wintry, wet day. You can have a quick little cup of creamy chicken soup, that easy. Or you need a pot to make a pot pie and you want to have that gravy rich for the pot pie. You'll have the recipe there. It'll all be handy right on your jar. I want to thank you all for joining us today at Toro for Women's Mountain Moments for our creamy chicken soup mix. Shalom.